everybody, this is Michelle with Bob Rewards Club. Bob stands for Black Owned Businesses. I'm here today with Daryll Wharton and her lovely dog that you might hear in the background.
My husband will come get them in a minute.
So today we're kind of going to be talking about, we're doing a special edition of Black Business Entertainers today. And what we're going to be talking about is Oprah Winfrey. We're going to talk about briefly the $54 million that she lost in Weight Watchers and why that was. Plus, we're going to also be talking briefly about her role that she's playing in the Michael Jackson documentary that aired for the first time last night. So I want Daryll to introduce herself, and let me get...
Hi.
Hold on a second, Daryll. All right, there you go, hon. Yep, there you go.
Okay. Hi, everybody.
Yep, and then Daryll. Now, Daryll is an expert, you guys. She specializes in life and health. I'll go ahead and briefly tell what you do, Daryll.
Okay. I am the CEO of Daryll Inspires, and basically what I do is I motivate women and inspire women to love themselves as they are, and while they are on their journey to their better health, their better them, their better everything. I just wrote my first book, and it's called Cute and Curvy, Begin Your Journey to Wellness, and it's a bestseller. Yay to me. So I really focus on body size and just not caring about yourself because you are a certain size.
Yes. And then you focus primarily on health. You talk more about eating better and wellness and exercise that way instead of dieting. And as you guys well know, if you don't know, that recently, last week, Oprah Winfrey, she lost $54 million in her stock of Weight Watchers. Now, Oprah Winfrey, she had invested bought about 10% of Weight Watchers stock a few years back. And so she became the spokeswoman, I don't know, for Weight Watchers. But since people are eating more healthier now, watching what they eat, like, they're vegetarians or whatever you are, people don't have a need to diet as much because they're not consuming so much of that negative, those bad foods that we once. So, kind of briefly discuss that, because I know the last time you were on our podcast, you talked about that. You talked about how you don't diet. Do you remember that?
No.
You don't?
I do not.
I could have sworn.
No.
Okay.
I do not, because the mentality of having being on a diet is something that you automatically think of restrict, and you automatically think of and you think of it in a negative way, that you can't have this, you can't have that. So I, for one, just started focusing on my wellness and getting stronger and having better endurance if I'm walking or whatever. If I fell down, can I get right back up?
Right.
And for me, I've been plant-based it's been about a year and a half now. That I've been plant-based, maybe a year, 4 months. I need to calculate that for somebody to say, when you said a year and 2 months, a year, I don't know. I know it's been over a year, put it that way. I feel amazing. And so I still eat sweets. Now my next thing is, and I'm kind of building on things. So now my next thing is I don't eat processed sugar. I only eat natural sugars. So to diet would just be, I don't even know, I've tried dieting, and what happens is you lose weight, and then you end up gaining it back.
Right.
And since I stopped dieting, the weight that I lost, because I had weight loss surgery, and then my weight became, I plateaued, and I was there for several years after I had my last daughter. And when I started focusing on the wellness and eating foods that would nurture and fuel my body, I was able to maintain the weight loss that I got from that. And I am still on that journey. And I have maintained the weight loss that I've lost in the last year. And I don't count calories. I do write down what I eat because it's just a journal for me to keep track of what I'm eating. Right. But I do not count, let me count these points. And, I've joined Weight Watchers numerous of times.
Oh, you did? Well, tell me about that experience. Yeah. Tell me, when was the first time you joined Weight Watchers?
Well, I think I was actually 7 or 8 when I joined Weight Watchers for the first time with my mother. My mother took me because I've been heavy my entire life. And that first week, I remember losing some weight, and then the next time that I went back, I gained weight, and it was absolutely crushing. And at that age, and my mother does not have a weight problem, and no one else in my family does except for me. Well, my grandmother was a little heavy, but that was on my father's side, so my mother didn't know what to do with me. So figured, well, let's join Weight Watchers together. She joined Weight Watchers too, and but I remember that devastation of stepping on that scale, and the numbers went up. And so that's another thing that I do in my business. I tell people we are not going to worship the scale. We are going to judge our success and progress by other means, because the scale is just one aspect of your health and not the whole thing.
Right. Okay.
So, and just counting, the only fun thing about Weight Watchers, and that's because I am a materials person. I journal, right? I like little cute journals, and I like little cute books. It was all the little cute little stuff you got. The little books and stuff.
Okay.
That's about the only thing good about Weight Watchers.
See, I've never been to Weight Watchers, so I don't know what they've got that's cute. But I heard one thing, too, one reason why the stock dropped, because the stock went all the way from, I think it was $70, plummeted down to like 19 or something. I mean, it dropped really low. Well, a couple things happened. A few things happened. One is what we just talked about, because people are not dieting anymore. Okay. 2 is they changed the name, the logo, so it's just it's 2 W's now. Okay, instead of it.
They fake people out.
Yeah, well, that's what happens, though. And they said a lot of people couldn't recognize it or whatever. But I think the first one I mentioned, what we talked about, is primarily the real reason. Because a lot of people are more conscious about what they're putting in their system. Now, and so that makes a big difference. Now, I don't know how the other stocks are doing, like Jenny Craig, or, there's a lot of Weight Watchers, kind of weight loss programs out there. Yeah.
I don't even see a lot of those commercials though anymore.
Really?
The last ones that I was seeing was Weight Watchers, because every year they have a new and improved, better program that's going to get you what you want. You know what I mean? The results that you want. But I have not seen a lot of, or even heard on the radio. There used to be so many things out there, and I think people are more in tune. People are more knowledgeable about what they are putting in our foods. And no amount of diet can save you from cancer-causing things that are in the chicken that you're eating.
Right.
So you can be on a diet all day.
Exactly.
So I think people are just getting smarter, and they're asking more questions, and that's part of the reason why I became plant-based. And just little things, like I don't heat up plastic. I don't eat out of plastic containers anymore. I rarely use my microwave anymore. I heat up my things on a stove. So people are just getting smarter.
Well, you're scaring me. Every time I talk to you, you give me something to think about.
I'm sorry. containers. And if I do heat something up in a microwave, it is to melt something really quickly. And that is only if I'm in a hurry.
Okay.
Other than that, when I heat up dinners, I heat them up in my oven. I heat them on the top of my stove. And all of my things are glass.
Yeah. Well, let me just read this quickly for people who don't know. This is an article out of Black Enterprise. And so in 2015, Oprah Winfrey purchased 10% stake in Weight Watchers for a total of $43.2 million. That the stake is now worth about $400 million. Okay. And 8.3 return investment. So she still made quite a bit of money, you guys. Okay.
Yeah,
for those that, you know, even though she lost $54 million, she made quite a bit of money. So, you know, they kind of talk about, it says that here, after a few months later, however, Weight Watchers shares dropped about 30% after the company announced a quarterly loss of $11 million, leaving people questioning whether or not the Oprah effect is now a thing of the past. Okay.
Don't have nothing to do with Oprah. Everything she touches gold, unless they not doing their part. Trust me.
Right. Well, this, like we were just saying, had more to do with people just changing their habits versus, you know. But it says here, when she invested the Weight Watchers stock, it was trading for less than $7 as of 1 p.m. So when she bought it, it was already low. And then on ET on Tuesday, shares are trading at $68 and are up by 70% this year alone. So she has helped the brand, basically, even though it, you know, it did drop considerably, if that makes any sense. So she still made money, and she helped the brand because it was only trading at $7.
Yeah.
Okay, so it rose up, even though they saw her face. So we'll have to see where that goes. Now I understand she did sell quite a bit of her shares at the beginning of the month. So now the other story that's coming out right now, you guys, with Oprah is this documentary that she did, that she's the face of right now with Michael Jackson. Now, did you hear about that?
I just heard about it this morning, and some of my colleagues were talking about it at work, and so I had planned on watching it tonight once I got settled. And I think this R. Kelly thing has just, well, you know what, not even R. Kelly, it kind of started with all these other things with Bill Cosby and some of the other guys, but I think this documentary definitely started with R. Kelly, for sure. And so now they're looking into this stuff.
Well, and I think it's really, I think it's quite toxic. I think it's pretty bad. For a lot of the, you know, we're watching, you know, this MeToo movement really get out of hand, and a lot of the people that, you know, I mean, we're not seeing things where a lot of these white priests are being held accountable for their role that they played in it, or, you know, like Harvey Weinstein and some of these other people. So you have to question this. You have to question why. And then, so the controversy here is that here we've got Oprah being a part of it. Now, despite she was sexually molested, you know, as a child, okay, which is probably one of the reasons why she feels a need to do this. Despite that, she, to me, is kind of being used like a puppet here, okay? So, you know, to kind of throw, you know, my thing is, you know, if Michael Jackson actually did do this, he's wrong. I don't condone that. My problem is, why are you coming back 10 years later after somebody's dead and coming with it?
I guess for them, and I'm just thinking, and this is what's so bad about it, is that because questions like that come up, I feel like for these victims, it puts them in a place where people question them, and I'm you know, happy and blessed to say that I have not been in a situation like that, but I know people who have. And you get silenced because, number one, you're afraid, you are ashamed, And so instead of us being able to focus on these people who have been abused and they're hurting and they haven't had the courage to come out and speak, it overshadows them. And all of these people need to be prosecuted, all of them. And the Catholic Church for sure. And some of them need to go to jail for covering things up. And you're talking about little girls and little boys. Yes. And just like the documentary, you know, when you hearing about it, even the people talking, my colleagues talking about it today, it was about, did you hear about Michael Jackson? It wasn't about, what about the victims that are, you know, are hurt. But at this point in time, with him being dead, you know, you can't prosecute him, but they need to go for people who knew he was doing stuff to people.
Hold on now. They can't prosecute him, but they can go after his estate. Okay? Now, I was reading. Right. Maybe they could. That's what it's about. You know, it's about money. All of it's about money. Now, I was reading something today, and I think they said his estate is worth, since he's passed away in 2009, his estate is made about, I think, was it $20 billion since he passed away. Now, don't quote me on that, but maybe it's in this article right here. Let's see here. Okay, it says here, what does this say here? Like, the state has already begun its war on leaving Netherlands. It issued a series of fiery statements about the time of the film Sundance debut January, and has filed a petition in Los Angeles County Superior Court for arbitration, seeking $100 million in damages for HBO and making its case. Okay, so that's for the state. So whoever's head of this estate. So his estate, I guess my point that I'm making here is that there's still a lot of legalities going on. So it's more about the money here. It's not about them being felt hurt. Okay, the same thing we saw with R. Kelly. They put the documentary out. You know, it could be used as a tool for them to get help, you know, to get sympathy from people. You know what I'm saying? That's how I see all of this. Okay? It's being used so like when they go into the courtroom, they're able to, you know, have, you know, I guess, quote unquote, evidence for, you know, their civil cases that they're having.
Well, I don't know if I necessarily agree with that. I think that when you are hurt like that, and I only say that because I have some close people who have gone through some things, and I know for me, if I'm able to, if I get the courage or someone encourages me because they came out and said something, you know, it's like, well, you know what, I'm going to speak up to. And being someone who has been to court for something, not that, but just to say, you know what, you're not going to go to jail for this, then I'm going to hit you right in your pockets for it. Because somebody has to pay for something. Because I done been through, you know, what have you. And the bad thing about it is you can't really, you're not going to be able to tell who's actually out for healing or out for money or both. But I think when you have all the evidence, especially with R. Kelly, I mean, all of that evidence and these people coming out and all of their stories are adding up. No one has time to get together to say, hey, let's say this, let's say that. You know what I mean? And I just think that it's time for people to be prosecuted and know that if you touch people that you should not be touching, you will pay for it, period. Right. No matter what it is. And it's just unfortunate. Well,
that's how it should be. But as we can see, that's not how it's going for people like Bill Cosby. Well, Bill Cosby, you know, I don't even think his case is even anything related to this. You know, and they call it sexual abuse, but Bill Cosby's situation had to do with him with a supposedly a Benadryl that the woman took. So that's something totally different. You know, if you look at that whole case. But they're trying to get. They're trying to really.
He also admitted to doing it, so that's why he, so he admitted to drugging people, and I don't know how long ago it was. I didn't follow the story as closely.
It was. They were really old. You saw how old some of them women were.
So they were back in. But didn't he admit it though? Didn't he admit it that he did? Drugged?
He did, but he also had an NDA, non-disclosure agreement that was broken. And then the one lady who they were able to trial against, he had given her money already. He had did a settlement with her. So she basically broke her NDA. Kind of like the same thing what we're seeing with R. Kelly, where he had an NDA or whatever. But, he won he was already trialed once. So it would be double jeopardy. So they went back and they threw, first of all, the laws have changed since I think it was 2006 or 2004, where they amended the law where they can go back 20 years for, 20 years. So what they've done is they're amending these laws, okay? And a lot of black men are getting caught up in that, because if you can go back 20 years, that person's almost 40 years old by now. You figure that, you know what I'm saying? So, so they're amending the laws, and then basically he did win with one of the people that was supposed to be the defendant in that case now. But
I think it's too many, I just think it's too many variables, because even when I think of 2 years or 20 years, it's like, I don't know how, I don't believe you can put a cap on somebody's pain and hurt, and maybe them just finally getting up the courage to come out and say, hey, you did this to me.
It's about the money. It's about the money. You don't come back 10, 15 years later, okay? If you know what I'm saying, and try to sue the
I don't know.
It's about the money. It really is. Now look at. They said, I found an article here, it was $2.1 billion since his death. So, adjusted for inflation, the king of pop has made $2.1 billion since his death. Okay? So that's a lot of money to be making.
Michael Jackson, you think these three guys are trying to get money from him? I haven't watched it yet, so
yes,
I don't know.
I do. Well, the same thing with Michael Jackson. They found him not guilty in that case, too. Remember when they took him on trial? So, somebody's dead now and you come out, they just keep. We're in the Me Too movement. Remember that. We are in a Me Too movement that's taking down people, politicians. We're seeing, a lot of people that are going down and having to resign. But we're not seeing any white men get locked up. We're seeing only black men get either locked up or be punished for this financially. Okay? And that's where...
that's just a classic case of, racism and everything else. And I just feel like if you do something you're not supposed to be doing, everybody should be prosecuted, no matter what color you are. But, that would be in a perfect world. But for me, it wouldn't necessarily make me say, well, free Bill Cosby because you didn't lock up, what's his name, Weinstein,
Harvey Weinstein,
because he needs to be in jail too.
Right. Yeah. Well, it is what it is, and I don't think that though, when it comes to us, I don't think that. They like I was watching a video yesterday from another black YouTuber, and he was talking about how Oprah Winfrey is just so in cahoots with a lot of these people that are in Hollywood. Okay, and so this is kind of like
you said you were watching what again?
I was watching another black YouTuber's video.
Okay.
Yesterday, and he was talking about last night how Oprah Winfrey is so in cahoots, and she is with Hollywood. And she'll do anything for them. Some of these people that are in Hollywood running Hollywood. Okay?
Okay. And that's basically what Monique is saying.
Yeah. Right. Well, she is. Mm-hmm. They pretty much made her. You know what I'm saying? all the money she's made, they pretty much have helped Oprah Winfrey get to where she's at. So it's like, he was saying she's got to give back these favors now. Okay? All these favors, she's got to give these favors back. So, and we know that there's some truth to that. We can't sit up here and deny it. But I just hate to see when black people be put in these roles, and it kind of makes us, who are really so much into the black community, like I am, okay, feel some kind of way. You know what I'm saying? So I just don't think that, she knew Michael Jackson well. She interviewed him. And so, like, to me, it's kind of a betrayal. And she even said that people would be mad at her for doing this documentary. Okay, there's articles out there. So she even knows that the black community was going to get mad at her, okay, for doing it. Some of us in the black community.
Well, you know what? I've heard, these stories have been about Michael Jackson have been out for, I remember hearing a long time ago. And like you say, he was on trial and he was found not guilty. And so was R. Kelly. So I guess it's just like, it would be nice if we could believe in the justice system, but I don't necessarily believe in the justice system.
Me neither.
So, you could say, okay, you were found not guilty, but clearly, in my opinion, R. Kelly is guilty as I don't know what. So, now you got extra videos besides the one video. So not only are you holding people against their will, these are young girls.
Well, but you know what? They were talking about that too. They said in today's age and time, we can take a video and put another person in it, and they could use all kinds of things to edit a video to make you look guilty on it. So I don't know about that video thing.
I believe it.
I think that hold on, I'm not saying R. Kelly is not guilty. What I'm saying here is he was already tried once. People got mad. Why do you come back 10 years later? Why do you come back after somebody then whispered in your ear, this is what you need to do to get some money? Because that this is what this is all about, is these people getting some money.
R. Kelly don't have no money. He couldn't even post bail for himself.
Yeah, did you see that, girl?
He don't have no money. These people want justice for what he did to them. They ain't trying to get no money for him because he does not have any coins.
I'm telling
he don't have no coins.
Did you see that? I did a video on that, and I'm like, wow. This man could have $100,000. Okay?
R. Kelly needs to be under the daggone jail. That's what he needs. And they're going to get him when he get in there because the people in jail, they don't like child molesters.
I don't see him as though, but I don't see him as a child molester. I mean, a child molester would be somebody, a pedophile, somebody that's 12 years and younger, is what I heard. These girls were not 12. How old?
They were like, what, 14, 15?
But they were young, but I don't see him as a pedophile. Okay.
Oh, he a pedophile. I'm sorry. He a pedophile or something foul or something else foul.
You said he's a pedophile. Okay.
And he gonna bust hell wide open. They're gonna be waiting for him. The devil gonna be waiting for his team. Trust and believe. And that even with me being a teacher, and I know that, and I don't know the legality of the ages and stuff, but when you're 14 and 15, you are still a child. And if you're dating somebody that's 28, you are a child molester.
Okay,
and that's why you can get people who are 17 and 18. You can manipulate them. I know they act like they're grown, but they are still little children. And that's why you find these 17 and 18-year-old girls and boys that are manipulated because they are not adults, even at 18. I know at 18, I know at 25, I still needed my parents. They don't have the mental capacity yet to be adults.
Well,
so
I think he's a big kid. you know, they were talking about his demeanor and his personality is kind of childish. So he's somebody that was molested himself. So, you know, I'm not defending it. Trust me. What I do have an issue, like I said, is coming back 10, 15, 20, even like in Bill Cosby's case, some of the cases are 30 years old, they said. Okay? So, but they weren't able to, you know, trial another older. But that's why there were so many women that, you know, came out of the woodwork. That's what I have a problem with. What is different now than what's different then? Okay? And so I just, like I said, and the fact that there's so many black men that are the ones that are being put in jail or are put in, you know, having pay some financial debt afterwards or whatever, being sued for it. You know, that's what I have a problem with. I just hate to see our brothers be in the media like that and then be brought down 10, 15, 20 years later for it. So, anyway.
I guess it all goes to, you know, we still had those values like they did back in the old days in the 60s where, you know, men were men and women were women and ladies, and we all know that we had to be 10 steps ahead, right? Mm-hmm. So I just feel like if you know that, don't do stuff you're not supposed to be doing, because you know when they catch you, they're going to come for you all the way. So I still just feel like, you know, everybody deserves what they get. If they're breaking the law, they deserve what they get.
Right. So. All right, then. Well, listen, we're going to end it on that note. I want to thank you so much, Daryll, for doing this podcast with me. And I want you guys to like, share this video, okay? And subscribe to our channel. And also, you guys, please go to our website at bobrewards.club and take out a membership, okay? Daryll is one of our Bob members.
Thank you.
Okay? Yep. All right. Have a good night, Daryll.
All right. You too. Bye.
Bye-bye.